Good morning, Warzone kids. I told a story about Shogim Trungpa Rinpoche a few days ago, and a little stunt he pulled, being late to a big rally and getting everyone whipped up into a froth about how mad they were for him being late, and then him using that as an example to show them the difference between peace and war, heaven and hell. And that brought this to mind. There's a famous story from ancient Rome. I forget the details, but they don't matter. They're part of during a war, one of a series of wars that the ancient Romans had with these folks called Carthaginians, lived on the other side of the Mediterranean Sea, north coast of Africa. And Romans were a very belligerent people, and also felt most at home when their back was against the wall. And they sent diplomats to Carthage because they'd been negotiating for a while and they'd reached impasse. And so Rome sent Carthage their last, best, and final offer. And the Roman diplomat approached the Carthaginian consul, I'll call him, probably someone named Hasdrubal or Hamilcar or something like that. And the Roman diplomat opened up his toga and pulled out a loaf of bread and the famous short sword that the Romans carry, whose name I cannot remember, and I'm sorry for that. Laugh at me if you will. And the Roman diplomat said, "We've done enough talking. Let's get to it. I bring peace and I bring war. Which one do you want?" And the Carthaginian general was also a belligerent fella, and he knew an ultimatum when he saw one. And he said, "Well, tough guy, you just leave whichever one you want. It makes no difference to me. I really don't care which one." So the Roman threw down his sword, signifying that war had begun, turned around and went home. Well, the part about the plot with Romans and Carthaginians, neither here nor there. They both ended up in a mess. But what comes to mind, why it sticks in my mind, is this relation to Shogim Trungpa and him showing the hippies that peace starts at home, not in Vietnam. And I like the idea of the Roman diplomat carrying peace and war with him inside his toga. Tucked inside his breeches, he had peace and he had war. Ain't that the truth? That is how we go through life, Pilgrim. We bring peace and we bring war wherever we go. What is your stance toward the world going to be? Is it going to be a stance of peace? Or is it going to be a stance of war? Because you can have whichever one you want. And more than that, for us Warzone kids, if you're a child sex abuse survivor like I am, if you live with borderline or NPD or any of the personality disorders, complex PTSD, you got addiction, you got bulimia, you got anorexia, you got any of that stuff, you got a question in your life about, same one as I do. I got a question in my life. What is my stance toward myself? Am I going to bring war to myself? Or am I going to bring peace? I have them both with me right now. Right inside my Johnson Woolen Mills toga. I got war and I got peace. I can bring either one to myself. I can throw down that short sword and declare war on myself. Declare war on the Ben that I am. And try to kill off that Ben and put another one in his place. The king is dead, long live the king. I can shoot second arrows at myself. I can stab myself in the guts with that short sword. Commit seppuku with it over recriminations against myself for the past that I can't change. Or I can bring peace. And I can sit on my cushion and look at the wall. And sometimes those recriminations come floating through my mind. Guilt, shame, desire to be some other guy, desire to change the cosmos to be more to my liking. What's my stance toward that? Am I going to go to war with myself? Or am I going to throw down that loaf of bread and say, war is over, Pilgrim. I want peace. I want peace. You can have peace. Peace is right here, just like it was with those hippies. They couldn't do much about tunnel rats and Coochie and the Iron Triangle and VC and the Hmong. But they could do something about the peace right there in that room. Just like I can do something about the peace inside of me. I had enough war. I've used the sword on myself enough. Let's have some bread. Let's have some peace. Let's bring peace to the trail today with us, Pilgrim. We got it. It's right there in your britches. It's right there in your toga. Let's have some bread together, Pilgrim. Let's get some miles under our belt. It's 28 degrees. Clouds are covered. The sky's covered in clouds today. But back there behind him is the rosy-fingered dawn, kissing us good morning. Let's kiss her back and have a peaceful day, Pilgrim. A beautiful day on the trail. We got a lot of miles to go. Let's walk them together.